Welcome to the Writer's Corner live show. Here on the show, we connect authors from around the globe to each other and to their readers. You will meet both seasoned as well as aspiring authors. We invite you today to hear the backstory of a very, very special guest. Maria Rekrut is the author of Double Your Income Using Social Media. So, this is one interview you don't want to not see because we all want to know how we can monetize, and her book is all about how we can do that with social media. So, don't go away, we will be right back. If you're just joining us, welcome to the show. I'm Brigetti Lumbanda. I'm a live video camera confidence coach, and I host and produce live video shows that help brands, entrepreneurs, and of course, thought leaders and authors share their stories. I am also a responsible social media advocate. And today we're going to bring you the backstory of Maria Rekrut. My co-host is Mary Elizabeth Jackson. Mary is the award-winning author of the Poolicious children's book series. She is currently also busy writing a movie screenplay. Mary is a wife and mom to three amazing inspirations. She's also a special needs advocate, and she lives in Nashville in the USA, and I am in Cape Town in South Africa. So let us know where in the world you are. Mary, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning for me. Good evening for you. Yes, I'm excited to be here. I'm so excited about this interview because, we were just having this conversation this morning and yesterday about monetizing and being able to do that on social media. So I can't wait to bring her on and hear what she has to say because this is a very interesting topic to a lot of people.
It is an interesting topic, yes, because some people will, say, well, why do you want to use social media, or how can you use social media to make money? And Maria's written a book about it. So a little bit about Maria: she's a real estate investor, a landlord, and property developer. She's the founder and president of the Canadian Real Estate Investors Association. So that's clues to where Maria lives.
Mm-hmm.
She's a keynote speaker, author, and blogger. She's also a podcaster for both short and long-term rentals since 2000. So she knows her stuff.
She does know her stuff. She has seen the business go from nothing to the beast that it is now. I think we need to call her Dame. Like, we need to give her a name. It's like she's this powerhouse woman.
She absolutely is a powerhouse. Maria is also the chief editor and producer of the Real Estate Media News radio and TV network. She is a radio and TV talk show host of her weekly radio show called Maria Rekrut and All Things Real Estate. She definitely knows all things about real estate. And her website is called realwealthrealestate.com. And of course, what we're interested in about today is the fact that Maria is also a triple award-winning author of the book Double Your Income Using Social Media. Shall we invite her onto the show?
Yeah, let's bring her on.
Let's do that.
Hello, ladies.
Hi, did you like your introduction? I feel like we needed to have,
Love it.
we
Oh my
needed to,
God.
we
Oh my
needed to,
God. Yes, the dam is here.
yes, that's right.
Oh
We
my
need a
goodness.
red carpet. We should have had the
Yes.
band.
Yes. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. I love it. Wow.
no.
Good work. Good
Oh,
work.
thank you. We love it. We're so excited you're here. And we've had
Thank
such an
you.
interesting morning getting on today. It's been just beautiful, hasn't it? We've
I
had,
know. That's what happens with technology.
I know,
And as a baby boomer, I'm just getting accustomed to because we weren't born and raised with technology. I mean, we had the
right,
typewriter.
right,
And we had the answering machine in the 1980s and 1990s. And look where we've
right.
come. My goodness.
Yes.
I don't think business has ever been easier than it is now, ladies.
Oh gosh, not just that, but as an author, as a
Yes.
person of
Yep.
information, as a conduit for things like that, it's like I don't know, somebody. Oh, I was in the grocery store getting groceries the other day, and this older lady was in front of me, and she was complaining about the phone, and she does, she has a flip phone, and she doesn't like any of that stuff, and she said her husband, like he can barely walk, right? She goes, I gave him a phone, he's like a teenager with it, he won't ever get off. So we were laughing about this, right? Because he's like 80 something years old. It was really cute. And I said to her, I said, but for people like me who are an author and people who are entrepreneurs and
Hmm.
business owners and stuff, this has opened up doors that I
Yes.
don't know that everybody ever even thought it would go like it
No.
has. And I'm
No.
not sure how we would do business if we were to revert.
Hmm.
How would we even do business?
Yes.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
I agree.
Before we
I
get
agree.
started, I just want to say a warm welcome to everyone. We're broadcasting on Twitch, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. So a special warm welcome. I see there's 4 people that have joined us on LinkedIn right now. Welcome to each one of you. Hello to Rita Sprit on Facebook, and hello to Corinda that's watching us on Twitch right now. So you're very welcome to ask us any questions if you want, but we're going to dive right in. Maria, you have slain the beast.
Yes, I have. Yes. And you know what? The beast gets bigger every year and it changes. The beast keeps changing and we have to keep up with the changes. And that's what I find difficult is takes thousands of hours to slay the beast. It
Oh
does.
gosh,
And it
I
took
know.
yes, and it took thousands of hours to write the book.
Hmm.
And
I
that
can, I mean,
excuse me.
so how did, what is it that got you interested in wanting to actually write about how we can use social media to make money? Because, there's still a lot of people that go around saying, why do you want to be on social media? How does it make money? So tell us what
How
is
it
the
makes
secret
money.
sauce?
How it makes money. First of all, you have to have a lot of patience to build your following. So the first thing is you don't go into it thinking I'm going to make money. You think about I'm going to build relationships. And relationships, I've always been very strong with business relationships or relationships in general. And I certainly don't look at anyone when I start a relationship as a business relationship. I look at as two like-minded people who want to share ideas or business strategies or whatever else, and it takes years to build the trust. So what I find a lot of people are doing is that when they see you on social media, they right away they try and sell you something, and it's like dating. I mean, really. I mean, you haven't even taken me out for a cup of coffee. I mean, virtually speaking, you don't have to take me
Right.
out for a cup of coffee, but you haven't even spoken to me to find out what I'm all about, and already you're trying to sell me a product. Like, I don't even know you. So
I
just
know.
like I won't go to a store unless I like the person that's selling. It's not the product that we're buying; it's the person who's selling the product. And how do we
Right.
get and how do we get to know the person? Through social media or meeting them in public, right? Because social media is not only Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the social media sites, but it's also, if you happen to know the person, you can meet for coffee or you network with them. Like this, for instance, this afternoon, I'm going out to a Chamber of Commerce event. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I belong to many organizations and associations that are related to business or real estate. And there you meet like minded people. So the first thing is find like minded people. Don't worry about the business because if it doesn't come from them directly, it may come from their friend. So that's why you don't look at people as a source of income. You look at people as a source of friendship, but also of a source of information that you're sharing between each other.
Hmm.
I think
So
you've shared something golden right there, is that people forget that, online relationships are not different
yes,
from offline relationships. And we want to say hello to Flavia watching us on LinkedIn as well. She's just left us a comment there to say hello. It's exactly the same. If a stranger walks up to me and says to me, "Hey, can I have your car keys?" I'm gonna just like, "Are you serious?" You
yes,
know, and that's very much the same as you've just met someone on LinkedIn, for example, and the person says, "So what problem can I help you with?" And you're thinking,
I know,
"Are
it's
you
so
kidding me?"
ridiculous. Yeah. And I
Hmm.
actually had one person on LinkedIn that kept saying, I kept saying, look, I've been in business 36 years, right? Oh, well. And then I've said, it's taken me 20 years to build the real estate part of my business. Because before that, I was doing training and business development. And he says, well, instead of saying, wow, that's wonderful, he says, well, you can do it in 2 years. I said, well, you know what? You must have a secret recipe because I don't know about that secret recipe. He says, oh, no, there's no secret recipe. And then he kept taunting me almost. And then at the end, I said, look, you know what? I'm not going to do business with you. I don't even know what you're all about. So please, let's just stop right here, right now.
Hmm.
Like he was so inexperienced, he drove me crazy. It drove me
Hmm.
crazy. So you don't start a relationship by trying to sell someone. You don't start a relationship by saying you don't know what you're doing, but I do. I mean, you're just a kid. You started maybe your business 3 years ago. I'm 36 years in business, and you're telling me I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Like, but having said that, ladies, it's very true that a lot of people, baby boomers, or even younger than that, don't want to use social media. I'm surprised to find that people
Hmm.
still don't understand that it's such a powerful tool to touch
Hmm.
base with people. Like, for instance, the two of you, where did I meet you? Social media. That's where I
Right.
met you.
That's
I,
how That's how Bridgetti and I met 3 years ago. We met through
yes,
social media, and we don't even live on the same
I
continent.
know. Me neither. I live in Canada, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, look at us. We're all over the world.
Right.
Outside of time differences that get in the
Yeah.
way, we're fine with each other, right? But
Right.
that's what I'm saying is, and it's interesting because people say, well, there's billions of people on Facebook, let's say, and then someone says, well, I don't really believe in that. Well, okay, that's fine. You don't believe, but there's billions of people over there. Don't you understand? Your traffic could come from there. You know.
Right.
You know what, I the way I look at it, in terms of social media, is that we're removing the walls.
Yes. Yes.
You basically opening up not just the door to your local business,
Yes.
but you're opening up the door and the walls to international business. So you're no longer restricted to a location.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
The walls and the distance
Yes.
is taken care of.
Yeah. There is none. And I use Facebook Messenger to phone people up all over the world. I don't even pick up my
Yeah.
phone anymore.
Yeah.
And when people started to do that with me a couple years ago, it frightened me. I thought, what's this? What's this noise coming from? Right.
Right.
But I've gotten to understand that that's all tools we can use, that it first of all doesn't cost any money. And
Right.
social media doesn't have to cost you money, it just costs you time, which costs you money at the end. But you're building up your own business. Like, if you don't have the time to build up your own business, what are you doing in business? Like, why,
Right.
like, you have to, like, I spend thousands of hours learning something new, and I make mistakes steady, but I learn, the more mistakes I make, the better I become at
Hmm.
whatever it is I'm doing.
So do you have a formula, like a specific formula that's in the book that you are in when you teach to people, what is your formula for?
Okay, my formula is, and I'm using it every single day, is that when I find, let's say I'm reading an article about something related to real estate, and these are in the advocacy mode. I'm very much an advocate for real estate landlords and tenants. I'm very much involved with, again, associations that are related. So I'm very much like you ladies, an advocate. And that's what keeps me going, right? That gives me the power to get started in the morning. So, excuse me. So let's say I see, like, for instance, an article I just saw a couple days ago, and there was a lady that they were talking about that she was doing something for the poor and for housing, the homeless issues, and all of that we have here in Canada. And so I tried to get in touch with her, and so I found her. Found her name. I went on Facebook right away, checked out. Was she there? Yes, she was there. Then I went on LinkedIn. Was she there? Yes, she was. And then I just sent her a message on Facebook Messenger saying, you know what? I really like what you're doing, and I have a radio show. Do you mind if we talk about this, about what you're doing to help people? Well, she sent me a message back saying, no, I'm not interested in being on your show.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, so either she doesn't feel comfortable or she's frightened of who I am. Even though I sent her a copy of my show and my podcast, she said no. So it's interesting how many people still say no if you reach out to them through social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said to me, well, if you can send an email, I'd appreciate it. I said, yes, I can. But right now I'm getting 2 shows ready, and I am, for Thursday. So I can't really be doing that. That's why I'm just letting you know who I am in the meantime to get to know who I am. She said, well, I'm not feeling comfortable. I said, that's fine. I said, so in the meantime, I'll just share your information. So that's what I do is I've seen her. Now I've become her friend because she is a person of interest, and also she's an advocate. So what I'll do with her is I will just share her information with anyone on my social media sites. So then she
Right.
gets to know who I am, right? Again,
Right.
she doesn't know me from a hole in the ground.
Right. But
But
you're
yet,
supporting her, and we are
I
intended to
am.
support each other.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what it's about. Then,
Right.
for instance, there's another gentleman that I got in touch with that I read again in the newspaper that he feeds the poor. He says, just come in and pay what you can with the produce, and he's a chef. So I sent out a message on Facebook Messenger. He says, of course, I'd love to be on your show. Different people, right?
Right.
So
Right.
there it is. Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me for that. So that's
it's
kind of my formula. It's a secret sauce that I get to know people over a long term. Like for instance, Brigetti, I saw her 3 years ago, and I was following her and Stephen Healy on Be Live TV. I enjoyed the show. I would comment, and then I would slowly get to know them. I'm not in any rush to get to know anyone, right? I'm just slowly that I'm interested. I'm listening to your show. I've learned a lot. So when I do reach out, it's a genuine interest. It comes from a place where
right.
I've been,
Mm.
because it can frighten people too.
Right.
Right.
The way like to explain it to people, and I want to say a quick hello to Marcello as well,
Oh,
and also
Marcello.
Melvin on LinkedIn. Thanks for joining us. So the way I like to explain it to people is that social media is not a sprint.
No.
It's a marathon, just like
Yes.
in real life.
Yes.
Give it
Yes.
time, get to know people, show genuine interest.
Yes.
And like in real life, I
Mm-hmm.
avoid people that I call has dollar signs on their heads.
Oh.
In other
Oh.
words, it's like just you can kind of, they look at you and you think, they
Oh
just
yeah.
want to make money off me. They're not
Yeah.
really interested in me. They just want to get my money.
Yeah.
And you have that same sense when you meet people online. It's no different,
Yes.
you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I agree. I mean, when I go to a live event, which I do a lot of times to network, again, I'm not going there to sell anything of what I have, right? Because I have a number of products, but I want them to know me as a person and as a business person. So I get to know them, say, okay, so tell me about you, especially if they're new and no one knows them. But when I have someone coming up to me and saying, they give me the business card before they even introduce themselves. Well, keep your business card. I'm not interested. I don't even know who you are. Exactly the same thing. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and it takes years to build that relationship. It doesn't happen overnight.
But
Yes.
where we are though in society, it's
Yes.
instant
I
gratification.
know.
And what's so sad is that we are raising an entire generation
Mm.
of
Yes.
children for instant gratification and narcissism. And it's
Yes.
really very scary
Oh,
because
yes.
even though our kids watch us on the phones and doing all this stuff, the majority of this is used, or a lot of times it's used for business and entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
things. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that's the majority of the reason that I am on
Yes.
and using my iPhone and my iPad and my computer. And, I'll tell my kids, just a minute, I'll be right back, or I've
Mm-hmm.
got to send a message to someone.
Yeah.
But, like my oldest was home over the holidays. And I know one of the big fads with teens and college kids and stuff right now, and a lot of people, is the TikTok app.
Yes. Yes. I've
And
heard of it.
so, yes. And so a lot of it's funny. And of course, I get a lot of videos put in my face by my teenagers. Look at this, because they're sitting there and watching forever and ever and ever and laughing. And a lot of it's funny. And sometimes I'm going, God, these people have nothing else to do with
Yeah,
their life,
exactly.
but they're making a lot of people laugh. They've
Yeah,
got a lot of followers.
yeah.
And then here I am watching my oldest make one that was actually very funny, even though she was kind of not bashing parenting, but she kind of made a silly about it. And I thought it was funny. But constantly she's looking to see how many followers she has.
I
But
know, I know,
as she's
I know.
saying, it doesn't really matter, Mom. And because I keep saying your life cannot be about this. You've got to stay grounded. You
Yes,
got to stay grounded. But
yes.
we are all trying to get followers. So there's that beast you tackle of how do we get on? I mean, we want people to follow our show, Burgetti, and I feel like that we're trying to offer a platform for authors
Mm-hmm.
and publishers and
You do,
illustrators,
you
and
do.
and we want people to watch it, but
Mm-hmm.
we can't be consumed, so we have to
No.
kind of stay in a place of realism about it too, which I think is very hard.
Yes, it is, and I agree about that. Let me put things in perspective how social media has worked for me. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll take a couple cases in point of people that I met through my life. Like there's a very large. I'm not going to go into detail. It's a large agency that I have bumped into for the past 20 years at trade shows. And so I would get to know them. And I would talk to them and ask them a little bit about their business so they got to know me. Then, when I went to some of my association meetings for real estate, they were there and they introduced themselves. They may have spoken, and maybe I went up to say hello to them or whatever. So I kept in touch with them. They're not on social media, though, okay? I'm going to see if I can get them on social media, but they're not on social media. But they're very large business, making millions of dollars. But the people are the nicest people in the world. Well, when my husband passed away in May, one of the women there, reached out to me and said, "I'm sorry about your husband passing." Then I said,
Mm,
"My sister passed July the 1st." Think about that.
I'm
So it
so
was
sorry.
my family members, one after another, passing away. So she reached out. And I said to her, "Are you reaching out for any particular reason?" She says, "No, no." She says, I just want to know that I understand because I had family dying also. So we just talked. I thought, wow, I was taken aback because she cared about who I was. And then when I was talking to her, talking about my newsletter for my real estate association, she says, "Oh, I want to be a sponsor," just like that.
Wow.
Wow.
That's how it works. Okay, so
Hmm.
that's happened with this lady. So then what the other thing is, somebody else I met that I've known, kept in touch with for years. We bump into each other at chamber events. They came to my meetings that I had once a month, and they started a new business, a supplier for real estate investors and landlords, like building supplies. So they came to me and said, "We'd like to be a sponsor of your newsletter," because they know me. It's not the product, it's
Mm.
me they know. And so as I'm growing in my business, they will follow me. And then I can always reach out and say, "Hey, would you like to be a sponsor?" Oh, of course, they know me. It's not like a cold call. You go into someone's office and say, "Oh, why don't you do some advertising with me?" No, I've proven myself that I have so many followers that people know me. So then when you reach out to them, either they reach out to you and say, "Hey, I'd love to be a sponsor," or I go to them and say, "You know what? This would be a really good group of people for you to market to. They're all real estate investors and landlords that need your services." And they said, "Of course." Really easy. That's how you use it.
Maria, what's your best advice for someone who's watching the show and they're completely green to social media? They may have been in business for a really long time,
Okay.
but like you, they may be a baby boomer and they're thinking, this monster is too huge. Where do I start? How do I start? What is your best advice that they can find in your book?
Okay. The best advice, first of all, buy my book. It's on Amazon, okay? But also you can get it from me. The best advice is go slow and sure. Decide just on one or two social media sites that you want to work with, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, and get to really know them, like really understand them. When I first started in 2012, I didn't even want to go on social media. Trust me, I hated social media. But someone said, "Maria, you've got to be on there for your business." I said, "Okay." So they set me up. So find someone who can set up those sites for you, because to do it yourself is really complicated. So this lady helped me. She set me up on all the social media sites. And then I just worked on Twitter. I really loved Twitter. when I started in 2012. And you'll probably say, why is that, Maria? Well, first of all, the relationships are built much faster than on Facebook. I mean, that's a given because news goes really quickly. The other thing, too, is it was fast paced. And for me, I needed that in my life. I want some place where I could, put things on and then I would go back and add more things on. It would roll really quickly. And I reached out to many people, and on Twitter, they responded faster than they do on Facebook. It's a different type of people on Twitter than it is on Facebook. So that's another thing is just go on there and experiment and share your information and then comment on someone else's information. But truly comment because you're interested. And people really appreciate you commenting. So I took care of the dragon of Twitter. LinkedIn has always been there, and I've always gone in there and posted some things, right? But then my next big revelation was Facebook. I didn't like Facebook years ago, but now I really enjoy Facebook because there are so many millions of people on there all over the world, and they'll spend the time to get to know you. You can spend the time to get to know them. And as their network becomes larger, like you ladies, I get on and I like your pages and I watch your pages. So then the networking happens, much in Facebook, it's a slower burn, but it's a more solid burn. And then because I like what you're doing, Bridget, I guess what? I share with all the other people on my Facebook association pages. So
So,
this is what I say.
Maria, the
Yes.
one thing I see people do often, and those are people that are new to social media, is they start out and all they do is they'll say, "Follow my page. Oh,
Yes.
I sell this course. I
I know.
sell this product,"
That's not what
and
it's about.
they don't talk about themselves. They don't
Mm-hmm,
get to know people.
mm-hmm.
That all they're doing is trying to push their products. What is the effect of that?
It's negative. It's negative. I mean, it's again, it's a cold sale, right? It's like a secondhand car salesman. Oh, you've got to buy this. It's the best in the world. Give me a break. I don't even know you again. It's the same thing. So, what the best advice for them is share information, not about yourself. Like it should be 80% information related to your field, 20% about who you are and your product. That's kind
That's
of
a
the rule of
great
thumb.
formula. That's a
Yes,
great
Mm-hmm.
formula.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Won't you repeat that again, Maria? I want to make sure
Yeah.
people get
Yes,
that.
80% share information that interests you and interests the group that you belong to, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on LinkedIn or Twitter, and 20% sell who you are. Because if someone's really interested in the 80% and they can see your posts regularly going up and they're following you, because it takes time. There's a lot of noise out there on social media. How do you zero in on yourself? By being there consistently and not selling yourself. That's pretty much what it is. And
Mm.
just like yourself, ladies, you're helping groups of people. And certainly, social media is to be socially minded. That's the other thing that people don't even realize, that social media is a great tool to spread your word about something that interests you, that you truly, and I like to help people. I've been like that since I was a child. Learned that from my mother, my father, always trying to help the next person, raise them up to my level. And this is really important because people, when someone, like on Facebook, when someone's parents pass away, well, I'll say my condolences, I'm sorry to hear that, or whatever else they need. People need to know that you care about them. People, if you care about them, then they care about you.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
And
It's a great tool. And I know, you talk about if somebody passes, I know that a couple of days ago, someone I went to high school with passed away. And so just about everyone I know is posting about
yes,
him, and we're all it's just a really sad situation, because he was a great person. He was really loved. And I think it's one of the first people in my graduating class that I know of that
mm-hmm.
has passed away.
Yeah.
But it is nice. I know I lost my dad in June. I lost my aunt 2 days later. I lost a cousin about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And it's that support and love, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
loss or prayers people need,
Mm-hmm.
or even celebration of things, anniversaries and birthdays. Feeling that love and support really it's a tremendous help, and it changes things. It makes life a
It
lot different for
bonds.
you.
It makes you bond with them, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what social media is like. If you in your own friendship, doesn't friendships go through stages? Like
Yeah.
if you're having trouble, they're there to help you, right? So too in social media, it goes through stages. So
Yeah.
just think of social media as an extension of your friends all over the world, like Bridget
Yeah.
said. Very, very well said. I have friends all over the world. So extending your hand all over the world opens up our minds and possibilities, and our business opportunities will come from it. Like, for instance,
Right.
someone found me on social media and they wanted me to speak in Kenya about landlords in Canada. I mean, that wouldn't have happened if they didn't find me on social media. And he
Interesting.
found me on Facebook. So guess what? My whole world just opened up, about speaking to people all over the world, international landlords, real estate investors, real estate agents. Doesn't my circle open up to more possibilities? Think about it. Of course it
Absolutely.
does. Of course it does. But again, I don't look at that as a monetary thing. It'll happen. I always say money will come. Just do the work and money will always come. It's not about
Mm.
the money, it's about the quality of the person who you are and the quality of your product, whatever it is that you're selling.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Your product.
and the majority of people, if you go into being a writer or an author for money, you're going into it for all the wrong
Yes.
reasons.
Oh, yes. It has to be
So,
your passion.
yep.
I didn't write the book to make money. I wrote the book to state what I thought was something new that I had discovered. I could see it as a tool being used for real estate investors or vacation rental owners, because I'm both a long and short term rental owner. So I could see that as a tool being used by them to reach their target audience, which whatever media, social media platform they go on. And it's interesting because there's so many times that I've sent out messages saying, I'm looking for guests to come on my radio show or on my podcasts, or my, or will you write for my blogs? Nobody even responds. It's
Hmm.
so silly.
Funny.
Like like if I saw someone give me an opportunity, I'd be jumping on it, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They don't even
absolutely. Me
respond to
too.
that.
Isn't that interesting? Yes. And I was going to say to you, if you know any authors who would like to, to be on our show, just have them reach out.
Thank
We're
you.
saying that publicly.
Thank you. Yes, I will.
We love this platform. We love that it's here for you and for illustrators, publishers,
Right.
because it allows people to see you who might not see you.
Yes, absolutely, and I salute you, ladies. This is a wonderful work that you're doing here, letting people know about authors, illustrators. Yeah, we need to know more about the people. And you don't have to, you can learn about self publishing too. Like when I wrote my first book, I self published it. I wanted to learn how to do that myself because I heard that with publishers, they take most of the money and then you owe them money. I thought, that's not my business model, right? I mean, I've been in business since 1982 and I started in New York City. Think about that. In New York City, like they say, if you can make it in New York City, you can make it anywhere, right? So
Right.
I
Right.
love business in New York City.
Oh my goodness. Ladies, we are totally out of time.
Okay,
Mhm.
wonderful.
Maria, I want to thank you very, very much. I think we're going to have to invite you back so we
Thank
can
you.
hear more about your publishing journey,
Okay.
um, how you did it, because we didn't get to any of those
No,
questions. But
no.
I really wanted to just share your journey and your ideas on how people can monetize, because that's a burning question for
Yes,
most people that use social media. Is how can I take it to the next step, and how can I
yes.
monetize it and use social media successfully? So thank you so much for being a guest on our show today. And we definitely would love to have you back again.
I'd love to come back, ladies, and continue this discussion. Just maybe shed some light, my own journey, what I found only in social media, but publishing and my book. Absolutely. Absolutely love to
Okay.
do
Thank
that.
you so
Thank you.
much,
Thank you,
Maria.
Mary. Thank Brigetti. And keep up the wonderful work advocating for the authors. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Blessings. Have a great day from the
You
United
too.
States, and
Yeah.
you're in Canada,
Yes, I am.
and Brigetti is in South Africa. So we're
Wow.
representing here
The
today.
world. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
ladies.
for watching, everyone. Remember to write good stuff and to be inspired one conversation at a time. So from me in Cape Town, it's goodbye for now.